Sean Rochelle, and this is The Sit Down. I'm here with actor Logan Browning, star of The Perfection. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm blessed and amazing. How are you?
I'm well. Loving this hairpiece. It's everything.
Thank you.
Where's it from?
Thank you. My hairstylist, Navasha, does amazing creative pieces of art that, you know, she's just inspired and she goes for it.
It's art indeed.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, let's jump right into this movie. I just saw it. It was a wild ride, still processing. A lot going on.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot in the film for you to digest.
For sure. So what made you want to get into this film?
Well, when I first read the script, it was a complete page turner. I don't always pick up a script and have to keep reading. And there was a moment I got to in the story where something happens to my character, and I just thought, there's no way this story is recovering from this. And then it kept going. And so I'm like, wow, I haven't been this intrigued with a story in that long. And then on top of the plot twist, my character and who was already cast as Charlotte, Allison's character, both were strong female leads, and I really dug that. And I could really see myself in that character because on the page, she didn't really have labels. She wasn't defined by that. She was defined by her life experiences. And so I was really excited about joining it.
There were a lot of plot twists, and speaking of that plot twist, that initial reaction you saw that, it was just mind-blowing. So you were starring alongside the insanely talented Allison Williams.
So wonderful.
And when I was watching, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was still recovering from Get Out, so I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's okay.
So when you were working with her, did you get any Get Out vibes where you just like, I gotta, you know, watch out a little bit? How was it?
You know, like if we were going back to the hotel and she like whipped out the keys, I'm like,
You're like,
give me the keys.
no
bros.
tea was had.
No, just kidding. Yeah, no tea, just water. No, Allison is amazing. She's incredibly talented, hyper intelligent, funny, kind, all of the things, and also an ally and a champion. And so when I was cast in this role, because it was colorblind casting, they didn't seek out, you know, any particular person of any race. But when I was cast, she was one of the people who was very adamant about making sure that the story still worked. You know what I mean? Because there are some things that you have to be cognizant of when a person of color is in a story.
Totally.
On the flip side, I was excited to do the film just because you don't always see people of color in roles like this, you know, in this genre. And so, yeah, working with her was honestly a blast.
It was such a beautiful chemistry you two had. And speaking of, you know, films like this and Get Out and all of that, you mentioned that Jordan Peele is like leading the charge in the reemergence of horror genre and like seeing it come into the mainstream. So do you have hope that we'll now start seeing more actors like yourself leading these worlds in horror films and get us, you know, the new Intruder with Megan Good and Michael Ealy? Do you think we'll see more of that?
I think there's no question we are, which is really refreshing. And I always like to say and to put out there that my wish is that these are movements and not moments, and that this isn't just a wave, and that this is a new age of enlightenment. And what's really exciting about that is as an artist and a person who loves to absorb this genre and people of color being placed into it just opens the space of opportunity, not just for people, but for all of us to enjoy and engage in storytelling. There are so many stories. Like the story of us is could have been told with any family, but it being told with that particular family allows us to get into a world that we're not usually in. And similarly with two strong female characters leading The Perfection, you're able to really get into subject matter that is particular to them and their experiences as these cellists.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. And speaking of compelling storytelling, I love you and Dear White People. It's
Thank you.
My favorite shows. Sam's such a complex character. I just love studying her and seeing how she fully realizes who she is. What can we expect for season 3? Because I know you guys just finished wrapping the season. What can we expect from Sam?
Sam is moving to Jurassic Park. She is going to be riding on a T-Rex.
Okay.
living her best life.
Just in another world. She
yes. No, this season is really close to that, but this season is all about spring awakening, and all of the characters are kind of getting to explore their newness, their college experiences, and how it has shaped their lives, their personas versus their personalities. Yeah. The same but new. Okay. It's the same things that everyone has loved, but in a new, fresh perspective that I think people are really gonna relate to.
I'm just excited to see what
you should be excited.
I binge watch everything one day. I'm so excited for it. Love it. So you tweeted recently, been developing my perspective on a single word, activism. Here's my simplest definition. Activism is acting against the status quo on behalf of anyone suffering from it. Do you consider yourself an activist?
When you read my definition back like that, okay. Absolutely. And I think that we all could and should be activists, because it's a much simpler idea and concept than the world seems to make it. I think when you think of the term activist, you think I have to be on a front line protesting, but we all can be activists in our day-to-day lives just by standing up for things that are not right and by challenging the status quo. There are things that happen in this world, the patriarchy, racism, that are just embedded in our society that have become so casual that people tend to think that they have to be this way. Yeah. And to be an activist, all you have to do is say, no, it doesn't. And just say that out loud.
Absolutely.
More than once.
Yeah. What are some causes or things that you're really passionate about right now? They're just like, this is a cause that I have to let people know about and stand behind.
Everything that I personally represent, I will always get behind. And everything that affects. It's the easiest thing for me to do, right? As a woman of color, a Black woman, as an actress, as a woman, as someone who has a Black father, Black brothers, and there's so many things, all of those things. I mean, obviously, currently right now, the Alabama abortion ban and women's rights and choices are what is at the forefront of my mind. But it's always anything that personally I can relate to, even if it's something I haven't experienced, like missing children, especially missing Black children who don't always get the same kind of attention. A lot of times with poor Black, Hispanic children are deemed as runaways when they go missing, and therefore when you're deemed a runaway, you don't get an Amber Alert, which is very dangerous because those kids end up in sex trafficking. There's an organization in Atlanta called Peas in Their Paws, and they actually have something they developed called the Riley Alert, which is something where parents can go to them when they have a child who's been deemed as a runaway by the police just because of their circumstances, and they help them to bring their children back home to them.
Wow, this is enlightening. Please follow that for sure. Logan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on the new movie.
Thank you.
Please go see it. The Perfection premieres on Friday, May 24th on Netflix. So tune up to your TV and make sure you tune into that.